Blackstone Audio presents Deviant, the shocking true story of the original Psycho, by Schechter. This book is read by R.C. Bray. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 16. Prologue. In 1960, a maniac dressed in the clothes of his long-dead mother took a kitchen knife to a beauty in a bathtub and permanently altered the face of American horror. The murder occurred, of course, in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, a movie that not only changed the way an entire generation of filmgoers felt about being alone in the shower, but also gave birth to a new kind of cinematic bogeyman. Psycho's monster was not a Transylvanian vampire or a slithery, tentacled creature from outer space, but a shy, stammering bachelor with a boyish grin, a bland personality, and the utterly colorless name of Norman Bates. Although Norman never married, he has, during the past 2 decades, produced a multitude of offspring, an entire race of cinematic psychos who, following in his footsteps, have stalked and slaughtered countless young victims in movies with titles like Bloodthirsty Butchers, Meat Cleaver Massacre, and Driller Killer. For all their extravagant goriness, however, few, if any, of these films can begin to match the supremely nightmarish power of Psycho. To a great extent, that power derives from Hitchcock's diabolical ability to undermine our faith in the essential stability of our world. Like Norman's first victim, Marion Crane, we are propelled on a trip down a very slippery road, one that carries us inexorably away from the familiar sights and signposts of the everyday world into a terrifying, irrational night realm. Before we know it, we have come upon a place where the most ordinary situations and settings are suddenly transformed into the stuff of our deepest fears, where in a single, awful instant, a motel bathroom becomes a chamber of horrors, where an affable, perfectly harmless-looking fellow metamorphoses into a crazed, knife-wielding transvestite, and where a helpless old lady turns out to be a leering corpse, decked out in a knitted shawl and grizzled wig. By the time the trip is over, we step away from the screen with the gratitude of a dreamer just awakened from a particularly harrowing nightmare, thankful that the ordeal we have just lived through was only fictional, and persuaded that nothing in the world could ever be as horrific as such a fantasy. Of all the shocks associated with Psycho, then perhaps the greatest shock is this. It is based on the truth. There really was a Norman Bates.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?